Joining us now to discuss the sensational allegations that have been leveled by leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi, Rizwan Arshad, who's currently an MLA, is also with us. Rizwan, thank you so much for speaking to Times Now. Now, if we begin with the allegations that have been made by Rahul Gandhi, he is alleging a massive vote fraud. He's talking about how there's duplication. He's talking about multiple voters registered at a particular address. He's talking about all sorts of inconsistencies as far as the voter list is concerned. If this was indeed the case, let me begin by asking you, why has it taken a year and a half after the Lok Sabha poll to be bringing this out in the public domain if this was the scale of the errors that are being reported from there? Rizwan Arshad.
The fact of the matter, Madhav, is that the Election Commission's data, it's not transparent. The way they store the data, the way they disclose the data itself is in a fashion that nobody can understand this whole exercise. It's very difficult to analyze. So our party and particularly our leader has taken a lot of time out, with a lot of patience. Scientifically, we have analyzed the data and we have tried to explain it to the people with facts and with data. I mean, he has not just come out in a fashion that generalizing any acquisition. He has very clearly said how many duplicate voters, how many voters where the Form 6 was misused to include it into the voter list, how many voters with fake addresses, and everything with scientific data. He has come out and exposed it in front of the people. So it has taken a lot of time for us. That is why today our leader Shri Rahul Gandhi Ji very clearly told the EC that you have to provide the data which is transparent enough and scientifically which can be analyzed by the people to make this process a transparent process and free and fair process.
Right.
That's why it has taken us so much time.
Okay, because you know what the official process is that within 45 days you can file an appeal. That process has not taken place is what we are told as far as this case is concerned. And just last Friday we had seen the Election Commission strongly rebutting some of the allegations of electoral misconduct that were made by LOP Mr. Rahul Gandhi. They had released a 5-point statement criticizing him for making wild allegations while refusing to engage with the poll body despite repeated communications. They said they sent an email on the 12th of June. He did not come. He was sent a letter on 20th of June. He didn't respond. And he has never sent any letter to the ECI on this issue. However, he is making statements in the public domain without engaging with the matter, legally speaking.
Madhav, the fact of the matter is our candidate in the 2024, I had contested 2 previous elections in the same constituency and I lost with the same margin of vote where the Madhavpura Assembly gave 70,000 margin to the BJP and lost it by 65 to 70,000 votes. The present candidate, Mr. Mansoor Ali Khan, had filed an RTI to get all the details from the Election Commission and they have taken so long to reply and to give any data for him to analyze and go to the court. Unless you have sufficient data which can be analyzed scientifically and which can be categorized properly and the court can be convinced with our facts and our evidence, how can we approach the court? So the Election Commission blocks it at that level. They don't allow the candidate the complete access of the electoral roll, what has been polled. And my small experiences where I have contested 4 elections, I have seen that the voter list we get as a candidate and as a political party is very different of the voter list which is provided to the polling stations. There is a very big difference. And why is this difference? And the difference is helping which political party? That is the question. So it is going against us. So the Election Commission doesn't want to keep a digitized, transparent electoral list in front of the public domain. If they keep it, they cannot manipulate it, giving one list to the political parties and candidates during election campaign, and one list they send it completely different to the polling stations.
But so this is a very serious charge you're making. You're saying that once again, I'm just going to go one by one because there are at least 3 or 4 points that you've made over here. you're alleging that the voter list which is given at the booth level to the booth level agents of political parties, that is different from the actual voter list or that comes out following the elections. This is a very serious charge that you're making. And can you cite the examples in this case?
Yes, of course. See, I have fought 4 elections. I have seen that voter list, which was given to us as a political party during the election and its campaign, and when we took it for the polling, so many votes were stamped as deleted, and so many votes were included, right? Without any basis. So how can you have 2 different voter lists, in the sense that many were deleted, which were not there when it was given to the candidates, and it is not only about one constituency or one thing. It is a generalized. Anybody who has fought this election can say that this happens during elections. We have to fight to create a free and fair electoral process. That is what our leader Rahul Gandhi ji is doing.
Right.
So not only that, Madhav, I have to tell you an example in my assembly constituency where I contested in 2023. There was a voter list revision done and due process followed. Once the due process was followed, the final publication of the voter list had taken place. And after final publication of the voter list, the norm is that they only add the votes which have been left out. They don't delete the votes. Despite that, after final publication of the voter list, before just 1 month of the polling, they gave notices to 9,200 of my voters, which were likely to vote for my party, and 8,000 voters were deleted at the last moment. This has never happened. It was unprecedented. So, and there were large number of votes which they wanted to include too. And when we raised this, we got to know that fake BLOs, more than 150, any BLO, to be a BLO, he has to be a government servant or should work in a PSU, kind of an institution, public sector undertaking kind of an institution. Fake BLOs were given identity cards, and when we caught them on the ground during 2023 assembly elections, we got to know that the BJP government in Karnataka, through an organization called Chilume, had employed these BLOs, who were private people, on payroll of the Chilume, which was indirectly funded by the BJP, to go there on the ground and manipulate voters. We caught them red-handed, we gave the evidence, and the RO was suspended and sent to jail, and IS officer was suspended. If we had not caught them doing the manipulation on the ground in my constituency, probably we could have lost this state, because they were conducting these exercises in 70-80 constituencies. So these
yes, and as I said, in that case, it was caught, action was taken. I remember the case you're referring to. But I just want to draw your attention to what has been stated by the BJP. Amit Malviya has put a social media post on platform X. He says, Rahul Gandhi's press conference was nothing but a bundle of falsehood and twisted narratives. Truth is, BJP has consistently maintained a strong lead in Mahadevpura since 2009, with its vote share increasing in every election and the margin over Congress widening each time. So one must ask, where exactly is the malpractice that he's crying about? And this is a very, very significant question, because if there is indeed a widening of the gap between BJP and the Congress in this particular constituency, then isn't that a trend that is only in keeping with past elections then? Rizwan Arshad.
See, we have no issues in democracy. Any political party can take any margin in an election. The issue is, why is the voter list so much manipulated, or it is not as per the ground situation where the voters reside? Our leader, Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, has very clearly categorized these into 1 lakh voters which have dubious kind of a background. See, before the 2023 electoral roll was revised, the Election Commission had come with a software where they said that we will identify duplicate voters. And they did identify duplicate voters. In my own assembly constituency, they deleted nearly 7,000 duplicate voters. We cooperated. And despite deleting the duplicate voters, why in Madhavpura constituency alone, even today, nearly 12,000 duplicate votes exist? When you had a software and you could delete it through that software, why were it not deleted in Madhavpura constituency? Two, the Form 6, which is used to include the voters, 33,000 voters have defect in that. Voters with just without any address proof have been included in the voter list. How is that possible? With some kind of a wedding card, they have been included. How is that possible? See, there are fundamental questions Shri Rahul Gandhi ji has raised. He has not raised only because our party candidate lost. He has raised to create an awareness, to create a transparent system, electoral system. In a democracy, if you have to save democracy, that electoral system should be free and fair and transparent. I have fought an election. In my election, they delete 9,000 votes. In Madhavpura constituency, they add 40,000 votes. I don't understand this dichotomy. I don't understand why in Shivaji Nagar, you add, you delete, and in Madhavpura you add. And why in Shivaji Nagar BJP doesn't get that much votes? Why in Madhavpura they definitely get unprecedented lead? Okay. See, I lost by 65,000 in parliament in the same constituency. My present candidate has lost only by 32,000 votes in this parliament election, and Madhavpura has given 1,14,000 lead to BJP.
Okay, so one more question coming in, Rizwan.
Why you had suspicion? This is an unprecedented lead.
Okay, let me just come to you on one of the clarifications that have come in from sources in the Election Commission, and that is of this one individual named Aditya Srivastav, who was referred to. He was said to have registered his vote in Bangalore Urban Assembly constituency. Also, of course, in Mahadevpura itself, there's also a charge that he was registered in Vidhan Sabha 173 Lucknow, which is a part of an earlier assembly constituency, as well as Varanasi Cant. They say that it is not registered as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned. This is the clarification coming in that this is not a factually correct claim that has been made by Rahul Gandhi. How would you respond to that?
See, Rahul ji has not taken this subject overnight and come in front of media in a hurry. He has gone through, he is a responsible leader, and always he has been proved right whenever he has taken any issue, whether it was demonetization, whether it was GST, whether it is tariffs of Trump, whether it is Chinese incursion, on any subject. On that moment, they ridicule him, and later on, in a year or 2 years' time, it is proved right. He is proved right. And he never says anything without his homework. He has done this homework. He has gone deep into this issue. He has tried to analyze it scientifically, and come out and said that in this particular seat, Madhavpura Assembly constituency electoral rolls does have issues. Like this, there are many parliament elections where we have lost because just 1 or 2 seats swing heavily in favor of BJP.
But Rizwan, that hasn't happened in the case of Maharashtra. Rahul Gandhi had made a lot of claims about the voter list in Maharashtra. The Election Commission put out its clarifications. The matter goes to the High Court. The High Court did not grant any kind of relief or find Election Commission wanting on any count. At least at the moment, there is no such finding as far as the High Court is concerned. They have given a clean sheet to the Election Commission. So while that may be the case as far as the other issues you mentioned, as far as the voter list in Maharashtra, that is not factually correct to state.
No, I don't agree, Madhav, because I am a political worker from my teenage, and I have been working and fighting elections. I don't understand in just 5 months' time, how can you include 40 to 50 lakh new voters? From where do you generate that kind of voters in Maharashtra? That is one. Two, Madhav, the problem here is the Caesar's wife should be above suspicion. The Election Commission doesn't act to create confidence among all the sections of the society and political spectrum. The problem with the Election Commission today is they have a different set of rules when it comes to BJP. They have different set of rules when it comes to opposition. If I have to tell you a small, examples of why the Election Commission looks little complicit in this. See, when Rahul ji raised the issues of Election Commission's misconduct and voter list and election kind of fraud in elections, they tried to amend the rules and say, we will destroy the CCTVs in 45 days instead of 1 year, which they were mandated to save it. And they removed the Chief Justice of India in the selection process of the Chief Election Commission. See, they tried to
that is a
adjust
completely
the
different
dates of
issue.
any
The court
state
order
election
itself had
until
given the
Prime
mandate
Minister
for the
comes and
CGI or for the
finally-
complexion of that committee to be changed. But Rizwan, the point is, will you now take legal action? Will you take up this matter legally? The Election Commission has also given an option of filling out a form and Mr. Rahul Gandhi giving the corrected data. Will all of these aspects or these legal aspects of this be now explored? Are the correct avenues?
The party will definitely decide what route to take to fight this. We'll not only take legal action, we'll go back to the people and we'll fight it on the streets. We in the Congress party believe that it is the sacrifice of our forefathers which brought independence to this country. We will sacrifice today, this generation will sacrifice our lives and our careers to safeguard democracy and constitution in the country. So we will fight it out. We will expose. We have no problem if Modi ji or BJP wins the elections, comes back to power fairly and conducting a free and fair and transparent election. But we will have a problem if they manipulate the elections and the election commission in a way conducts itself that it creates a conducive environment for BJP to manipulate elections. Then we will fight it out, whoever it is. We will hold them responsible. It is our democratic right. The Constitution has given us right. Chief Election Commission or anybody is not above the Constitution. And the way today elections are held in India, the suspicion and the environment is vitiated by the actions of the VC. When any political leader gives a hate speech or a communal speech during elections, the Election Commission doesn't take cognizance if they are from the BJP. They have any small issue from the opposition, they file a case.
Okay.
What is this happening?
But
everybody is watching what Election Commission is doing. It is solely on the Election Commission, on their conduct, to come out of this suspicion and come out and conduct themselves free and fairly and generate confidence among the people.
Mr. Rizwan Arshad, there are many who would argue that the very fact that there is, a lot of inconsistency of the data, the quality of the data gathered, all of this really shows the need for having a special intensive revision in the first place.
See, if you have any revision with a fair mind and a fair intention, there is no issue. When they had a SIR kind of a exercise in my constituency, they deleted nearly 9,000 votes, and 7,000 votes belong to one community. Okay, so if we go on exposing them, it is too much. Our thing is we have no problem with conducting any kind of a revision. But do it fairly is our contention.
But why has not a single complaint been filed in the case of Bihar?
On the basis of religion.
Rizwan Arshad, there were so many complaints of SIR in Bihar. 1 week down the line, not a single party has filed a single objection.
Yes.
Why is that the case?
Definitely they will do. That is because the 65 lakh deleted votes, I'm not working for the Congress in Bihar, so I would not like to comment there. Our colleagues who are working there will comment. But I would like to say, in a common sense, 65 lakh voters are being deleted in Bihar from electoral rolls. Why doesn't BJP... so why does the Election Commission doesn't come out with the data of this 65 lakh votes? Why do we have to approach the court, to the Supreme Court, and ask the court to direct the Election Commission to delay? When you're deleting 65 lakh votes, is it not fair for you to come out and publish it in front of the people? Said, these are the 65 lakh voters we have doubt on and we are going to delete. Why are you not doing? Why do you force us to go to the court?
Well,
this
certainly
is where the
both sides
looks partisan.
Absolutely, the Election Commission is certainly going to answer all those questions in court, we presume. But at the moment, a lot of back and forth going on whether the elections being managed are as per the rules. The Election Commission insisting that everything is as per the rules, and the SIR also being done is within the constitutional framework. Opposition parties such as the Congress have raised serious questions. Rizwan Arshad, thanks so much for joining us here on Times Now.